Hello everybody, welcome to today's video and welcome to another reading vlog. I'm really excited for this one because I am finally going to continue and finish the Chestnut Spring series. I know, right? I actually started this series last year, but I did not continue it mostly because these books are over 400 pages and that's a lot of pages actually. So I've read 2 out of the 4 books in the series. I read Flawless, which is about the youngest Eaton brother, Rhett, who is a bull rider. And this one, I think I gave like 3.5, 3.75 stars, mostly because I could not get over the fact that he had long hair. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but everything else was really fun and entertaining. And I also read Heartless, which is the second book. This one is about the oldest Eaton brother, whose name is Cade, and the FMC is Willa, who is hilarious. Their banter together was so good. I loved this one. I gave it 4.5 or 4.75. There was just a trope that popped up towards the end that wasn't really my favorite, and it only popped up in the last like 50 pages. So if the book did not have those last 50 pages, it would have been a 5-star for me. I still loved it overall, so I'm excited to read the rest of the books in the series, starting with Powerless, which is about Jasper, who is a hockey player. He's not an Eaton brother technically. He's kind of like their adoptive brother. And the girl's name is, I actually don't know the girl's name. I haven't read the back of the book because I want to go into it blind, but I do know that it's Jasper because he pops up in the previous books. And he's the only one that plays hockey still. Also, can we just take a second and admire the colors of these books? I really love that they're just one solid color. Like this one is pink and my tabs for this one was pink. This one was blue, so I did blue tabs. And then this one is purple, so I'm gonna do purple tabs. And I just love that they're kind of like color coded. It just makes it easier for me to annotate. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue reading the Chestnut Spring series, starting with Powerless.
He really just gave a toast to keeping women in the kitchen. Why is she marrying this guy? Such a loser. She needs to drop this guy. I still don't understand why she's marrying this guy. Jasper is clearly better. There was a bee. Oh, that scared me. I still don't understand. Like, she can't get married to this guy, right? He's not Jasper. Cade and Rhett are in the scene.
was the hottest day of the week, so I did put my hair up, but I finished the book Powerless, and this was a really cute friends to lovers story. Jasper and Sloane are so good together, and I feel like they were really meant to be together. Sloane was about 10 years old and Jasper was around 15 when they first met, and she had the biggest crush on him. But at the time that they met, Jasper was going through his very traumatic childhood and he was trying to live through that. So he didn't actually reciprocate the feelings towards Sloane, but Sloane was always there for him in a way that no one else was. And they were able to form a friendship and a bond that really grew over time. And I'm just so happy that Jasper was able to figure it out so that they both can be happy and together. I also think I really like this book because of how real Jasper's story felt, and because it showed a happy ending for someone that had a really rough childhood, and I was definitely rooting for him the entire time. And sometimes you just need that happy ending for someone who went through childhood trauma, you know, even if it's a fictional character. The only thing that I wish was a little bit different or that I would change for this book is the way that the spice pops up. Okay, don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the spice, but I just really think it came out of nowhere. We were like halfway through the book and I feel like Elsie Silver was like, okay, it's time for some spice, and then I turned the page and there it was. There wasn't much of a lead up to it, and I just feel like it didn't flow very well, at least in my opinion. But other than that, I thought this book was really good and a really good story. So my final rating for Powerless is going to be 4.5 stars. I absolutely love the story. I just wish the spice didn't just pop up out of nowhere. And now I'm going to move on to the fourth book in the Chestnut Spring series, which is Reckless. And the two main characters in this book we've actually seen before in the previous books in the series. The male main character is Theo, who is Rhett's protege, and the female main character is Winter, who is Summer's older half-sister. Theo is a rowdy bull rider, and Winter has just left a toxic marriage to a terrible man. And they actually have a cute little scene in the previous book where we can actually see their chemistry a little bit, and the banter between them was so fun. And Theo actually tells Rhett that he thinks he just fell in love with his sister-in-law Winter, and I just thought that was so funny. I just can't wait to read Theo and Winter's story because I just know it's going to be a fun time. The previous book was definitely emotional, but I just have a feeling that this one is just going to be a silly, goofy time. Oh my gosh, wait. Okay, so I just finished reading the second chapter, and the first two chapters start with Theo and Winter meeting, and their very first interaction is actually the scene from the previous book in Powerless. I thought they already knew each other, but they don't. That was them meeting for the first time, and their chemistry is already like so great. I just know that Theo's gonna do whatever it takes to win Winter over, and I just want that happy ending for Winter because I feel like she deserves so much better than her awful husband. I just think it's a really fun way to start off this book with the same scene that we see in Powerless, but this time it's in Theo and Winter's perspective. So I feel like it makes it even more fun. But yeah, I'm 20 pages in, and so far it's a lot of fun. hammock, which is why there's like this weird thing going on, but it's just so comfy here that I don't want to move. But I did finish the book Reckless. I honestly did not like it as much as I thought I was going to like it. The trope of this fourth book was not my favorite. It was mostly Summer being super attracted to Theo because he was a great father to their daughter. So the trope of this book is a surprise baby trope, and that's not a spoiler. It literally says that on the back of the book, and it says it in the very beginning beginning of the book. Anyways, I thought it was going to be Theo being all funny and cute, trying to get Winter to like him, because Winter is known to be this really cold and closed off person. So I thought it was going to be him pursuing her and opening her up and her falling for him, and it just was not. It was definitely more focused on the baby and their physical attraction to each other, and because of that, it's my least favorite in the series so far. I really did like Theo and Winter together, and all of the scenes that they had together when it was just them and their banter, that's what I really liked. Those scenes were few and they were not frequent enough for me, so I feel bad for not liking it, but not really at the same time, because reading is subjective and everybody has different opinions, and this is just my opinion of this book. So my final rating for this book, kind of nervous to say it, but not really, it's a 2.75 for me. And it was definitely due to the trope and the way that the trope was written. I think if you're like super into becoming a mom and having a really good father for your child, then you would really love this book, but I'm just not about that. I really wanted to like it. I feel like it had so much potential in the beginning, and then it just kind of threw in that trope, and it was just a no for me, you know? Anyways, moving on. I totally thought for the longest time that the Chestnut Spring series had 4 books, but it doesn't. It has 5 books, and I totally do not have the 5th book in the series. So we're gonna have to make a quick pit stop to the bookstore, and I really have no idea what the 5th book is about, since I didn't even know it existed. From what I've gathered from the previous books, I'm thinking it's gonna be about Bo and his love story, and Bo is one of the Eaton brothers who is in the military, or actually he was in the military. He is now back from the military, but is having a difficult time adjusting, and that's pretty much all I know. So let's go pick up this book and finish reading the Chestnut Spring series. Their names are totally Bo and Bailey, but they're so cute. Really bad for Bailey. I feel like the whole town is out to get her just because of who she's related to, but you can't help who you're related to, and being judged for something that you have no control over sucks. It just makes me so sad and frustrated for her. Okay, let me start from the beginning. When I started this book, I wasn't sure where it was going. I also didn't read the back of the book, so I had no idea what this was going to be about. And the first 50 pages were a little bit slow, to be honest. I wasn't sure where the story was going. We got introduced to Bo and Bailey pretty early on, but it was kind of like their background, so there wasn't a lot going on. Then I got to page 59. That's where it started getting good. But they have like this agreement that they're going to get fake engaged to kind of help Bailey with her situation and stuff. And it's also going to help Bo and his situation. So it's a fake engagement. And I just think that's going to be such a fun trope to read about in this book. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how it goes. And I'm also really rooting for Bo. And I really do think that Bailey is exactly what Bo needs. She's like fun and not too serious all the time, but serious when she needs to be. And I just feel like that's what Bo needs in his life at the moment. And Bo is gonna be there to help Bailey out and make people stop being so mean to her. At least that's what I'm thinking. I am barely on page 65, so I'm pretty early on, but I am pretty excited to continue with this one. I like that we're starting to see Beau's personality from the previous books, because in the previous books he's like this really fun and silly guy, but this book takes place after he comes back from deployment and he's just going through PTSD, but we are getting little glimpses of his really fun and silly personality when he's with Bailey, so that's good. I'm really rooting for him. I want him to feel better, and I think Bailey can help him with that. Finished reading all 5 books in the Chestnut Spring series, so let's talk about them. I want to go over my highest rated book, my lowest rated book. I also want to give you the total time it took me to read this entire 5-book series. Also, if you hear like a noise in the background, it's my AC. It's just really hot today and I don't want to turn it off, so we're just gonna kind of ignore it for a little bit. Alright, so here are my reading stats for the Chestnut Spring series. The total number of pages I read was 2,091 pages. The book with the most pages was Reckless with 434 pages, and the book with the least number of pages was Flawless with 389 pages. My total reading time for the entire 5-book series was 46 hours and 47 minutes. The book that I read the fastest was Flawless, which took me 5 hours and 53 minutes, and the book that I read the slowest was Powerless, which took me 10 hours and 52 minutes. My highest rated book for the Chestnut Spring series was Powerless with 4.75 stars. I absolutely loved that book so much, and I'm definitely going to be rereading it. And my lowest rated book was Reckless with 2.5 stars. I honestly want to bump that down to 2 stars. I will not be rereading this book. It was definitely the trope that made me not like it. The overall spice level for the Chestnut Spring series, I would give 3 chili peppers, because the books are spicy. There's some spice in them, but it's not over the top super scandalous, so that's why I gave it 3 chili peppers out of 5. And my overall rating for the Chestnut Spring series is 4 stars. If we want to get technical, it's technically 3.85 stars, but I just round it up. And my key takeaways from this series is that the Chestnut Spring series is an interconnected series. You don't have to read all of the books, and you don't have to read the books in order. However, each book in the series, other than the first one, starts with the character introduction scene that we read about in the previous book. And I just think that reading them in order gives you that little extra connection that you wouldn't get if you read them out of order. And a lot of the characters from different books pop up in previous books. You might not know who each character is because they do pop up in other books before being the main character in their own book. And would I recommend the Chestnut Spring series? Absolutely yes. 10/10 recommend. I will totally be rereading this series, except for Reckless. I don't think I want to reread that one. It just was not my favorite. I am just so excited that I finally finished the Chestnut Spring series. There were 5 books that were all 400 plus pages long, except for the first one. The first one was the shortest, but it was still almost 400 pages, which is, you know, a lot of pages. And now after finishing this series, I am way more motivated now to finish all of the other series that I'm in the middle of. I think I'm in the middle of like 10 series. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos where I try to finish all of the series that I'm in the middle of. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!